Hey, yo, peace to the gods, peace to the earth. This your man, the King of Truth. King Truth is Allah. Coming on this, where we at? We in this God Allah Day. Supreme Mathematics number 7 is God or Allah, right? So how I see God or Allah? Peace. God, I see it as good orderly direction, right? So now, I come to learn that in America and the rest of the world has been conquered by European, the England, because they say, research say, scholars say that's the most spoken language in the world is English. Even when you go abroad, people speak English. So so what I'm saying is, we got to come to define, really get a true understanding of good orderly direction. Like we got to break down what good is, like what we saying. Cause like some people last name is good, you know what I mean? Excuse me, I just had chicken Greek salad from Leo's Coney, made with romaine though. Iceberg in them, but water, romaine, iceberg lettuce. It's part of the good foods diet list, right? But so God, I see that I agree with, because I'm speaking on it, is good orderly direction, right? And so that means, that you should be at peace with everything and everybody that's in your environment, that's in your cipher, that's in your square, that's in your network, right? You should be at peace, right? And you should always move and strive with positivity. You understand? You should always move positivity, right? Good orderly direction. You know what I mean? Your mind shouldn't be on crime and hate and negativity, jealousy, greed. That's lust. That's not God. That's devil. That's not peace. You understand? Yeah, man. And so Allah, good orderly direction, or Allah, I see Allah as an acronym. Everything's, most things are acronyms. So, arm, leg, arm, head, right? Right, arm, leg, arm, head, which is a human being. Your arm, leg, arm, head. That's two arms, 2 legs, and a head. That's a human being, also known as a supreme being, when you get now the proper knowledge of yourself. Peace, right? So that's how I see today's man. Number 7 is part of our universal flag. And 7 represents, research shows 7 is a symbolic number for God, right? I don't know why, but it's a lot of cultures, a lot of belief systems use 7 as the number 7 as the representation for God, right? So peace, y'all gotta make it make sense, right? Peace. So that's how I see today's math, right? I'm gonna talk about snitching, man. I'm gonna jump in with T.I. I think I spoke about this, man, but it's come to the light. I'm gonna share the video. Hold on, hit a video.
You recognize who that is?
Yeah, that's Phil.
Okay.
Oh, that's his body.
In 34A.
Yeah, that's the entry wound.
Okay. And that's a picture of Falant with the bullet hole in his head?
Yes, it is.
And that's the bullet hole that you described to the jury as being in his temple on the left side?
Yeah.
How did Falant's family find out about his death?
I told him. I called his mom first, then I told his cousin. I told his little girl.
How old was his little girl?
His daughter was 4 years old at the time. Five years old at the time.
And how did you tell his daughter that her father was dead?
He's in a better place and he won't be coming back. And I told her how much he loved her.
And how did you tell his mom that her son was gone? You recognize who that is?
Yeah.
So people think, T.I. snitching. People think what T.I. is on the stand testifying on behalf of his friend, his best friend, one of his best friends that allegedly got shot and killed in Cincinnati. I think it was Cincinnati or Cleveland, somewhere in Ohio, right? And people saying he's snitching, he snitched, he ain't supposed to take a stand. That's ridiculous, man. People don't know what snitching is, man. That is ridiculous. What T.I. is doing is not snitching. You see what I'm saying? Like, it ain't in this particular case, because all cases are different, right? And so all cases that people say snitching is different. See what I'm saying? So, he not snitching. His friend, they got into some altercation at an after party of a concert, and somebody shot up the tour bus and one of his best friends got killed, right? So stories suggest they was not in the wrong. T.I. and the Grand Hustle clique was not in the wrong. They was just confronting with some hate, you understand? Now, this is a story, I don't know. You can check this story. They say the dude was in jail. You understand? So you can check the story. But I don't know, I'm just talking about, T.I. in this particular case isn't snitching, having to explain to the court, his family, what happened. That's ridiculous. How's that snitching? Snitching is, people gotta get a better working understanding of what snitching is. Snitching is when you tell on people you do things with that's against the law or against your marriage or against your relationship or against your crew, and then you tell, or then you get caught by the police or somebody else, and you tell to save your own ass. You tell to save yourself. See what I'm saying? You tell to save yourself from getting in trouble, right? So that's what snitching is. When you get in trouble, you do something with somebody else, and you get caught, and you tell them that person to save your own self from punishment. You want to avoid correction. You not gonna stand up and take responsibility for what you did and just stand on it and leave everybody else that was with you that didn't get caught out of it. See what I'm saying? So snitching is when you tell on people, you do stuff you ain't supposed to do, and you get caught, and you tell to avoid correction. You tell to avoid punishment. That's what snitching is. T.I. this over T.I.'s head, pay grade, not to be able to say nothing. When law enforcement get involved, his friend was shot in the head by some haters, right? And what other time? I'm not gonna say nothing. That's ridiculous. This man got $1 million deals on the table. He technically, they at work. He's an entertainer, a rap artist. They at work. You understand? They performing at a nightclub. Ain't no way, he should double back and get now he wanted to double back and get revenge. He wanted to, but cooler head, common sense and cooler heads stepped in. Like, man, you just work with the police. That ain't snitching. When you minding your business, when you doing positive stuff, you minding your business, you was, and some hate pop off and somebody lose their life, somebody that's working with you lose their life, and what you supposed to do. Wow. So people gotta grow up, man. People gotta grow up, man. That's ridiculous, man. And so I don't know, if his homeboy lost his life, man. But I'm talking about they said that ain't snitching. And so now T.I. done said FaggotyCent was cool. He never had no problem with FaggotyCent. They understand each other. Right? So I don't know how old this T.I. versus FaggotyCent versus is, right? But FaggotyCent posting this clip of T.I. testifying in court for his homie getting killed. And so FaggotyCent is trying to imply, he's trying to say without saying T.I. snitch. Man, all snitches do that. FaggotyCent is a first-rate, first-class rat snitch. Now, according to Murder Inc., when Irv was alive, he was, I think he got video of FaggotyCent going in the courtroom and testifying against Irv and Chris Lorenzo, aka Irv and Chris Gotti, and Kenneth Supreme McGriff. And I don't know if Gerald Prince Miller was in that money laundering case, but rumor has it that FaggotyCent was a witness against Murder Inc. Records, which was the CEO of that, which was Irv Gotti, Irv Lorenzo, and his brother Chris Lorenzo, and Kenneth Supreme McGriff. They was trying to get them on money laundering, and FaggotyCent was a witness against them. Now it's gonna come to the light that Murder Inc., which include Ja Rule and Ashanti and everybody, did not do anything to they were not responsible, had nothing to do with him being shot up. Murder Inc. Records or Supreme Team was not responsible for FaggotyCent being shot up. So, he's a hater and a liar and a dry snitch. See, a dry snitch is a lying snitch. I come to learn dry snitching mean when you lie and tell on somebody, but the lie you tell on somebody put them people on everybody's radar. The police, the street wolves, the jack boys, hitters and killers. When you dry snitch and lie snitch on people, it put them on the radar. So FaggotyCent saying Supreme Team got me shot, and they didn't, and they was in the street doing what they do, brought them more attention from people they may not want attention from, which be the police and or Jack Boys. You see what I'm saying? So FaggotyCent fake, man. Ain't no, they didn't do it. See what I'm saying? So, like, Ja Rule from Queens, FaggotyCent from Queens, Supreme Team from Queens, Cool J from Queens, and so this a Queens thing. Like, DJ Quick and MC8 both from Compton, they had beef, but FaggotyCent took it too far by lying on them out of pure sheer jealousy. And he the main one be snitching on people. See what I'm saying? Trying to insinuate T.I. is a snitch. That's bullshit. Now, I don't know T.I. business. I don't know his legal troubles. I don't know. He got people, he got a bodyguard down and say he told on him. I don't know. But as far as his homeboy being shot and him that ain't snitching. That's being a stand-up man, a stand-up brother for his friend and his family and his friend family. You supposed to say something. You supposed to roll with the legal system. He got $1 million deal. He got about 5, 6, 7, 10 kids. He gotta he can't go to jail for revenge on some haters. This is a time for growth. Good thing he had Cincinnati had a prosecuting attorney that wanted to get justice. So when you got law enforcement and prosecutors that want to get justice, that's who you roll with when you ain't done nothing. You ain't gang banging out here. You wasn't, maybe you feel grand hustle or whatever. They threw up their whatever. But nobody should have lost their life like that. You understand? So T.I. ain't, that's, he being a stand-up man, and a stand-up brother for his friend Falon. See what I'm saying? So, FaggotyCent a foul dude, man. That's, he foul. He foul and fake. You know what I'm saying? He can't beat T.I. in a verses. He can't beat me in a verses, and I ain't gonna have no raps prepared, and he can't beat me in no verses. You see what I'm saying? So that's all I'm saying. Learn the definition of snitching, what real snitching is. See what I'm saying? People say you snitching because you telling Tupac. I ain't down with Tupac. Tupac raped a woman. He raped a woman, and he lied on Big, and he lied about being shot in Quad Studios. And he been lying his whole life. Tupac and his mama fake. So, I'm not down with a rapist, a hater, and a jealous liar. I'm not down with that. I'm not down with being lying about being educated. These things can be checked. Why I'm gonna stand with somebody, say, stand with me and say we went to, I'm not gonna, it could be checked. So then if it's checked, then my reputation as truth is tarnished. Why would I want to do that for you and you too ignorant to go get a GED and go to college? No to you. So telling or airing out Tupac, telling on it's not snitching. I ain't down with him. He's a coward. You see what I'm saying? So, man, that's all I'm saying, No to him. You know what I mean? So, that's all I'm saying. I'm out. Peace.